And we had an incredible game between Magnus Carlsen against ALIREZA FIROUZJA, played in the last round of the Norway chess Blitz tournament. Before they played Classical, they had the Blitz tournament to determine colors, and that was a fascinating battle. So Magnus decided not to go for theory and played b3. Now very quickly, he plays bishop g2, and we have one bishop in fianchetto, looking at this diagonal, and of course the bishop on b2 looking along the long diagonal a1 h8. Now they played pretty quickly. And we have this position over here. It's not very well known, right? But we can see that both players have developed all the pieces. This position is nothing else than the London system with the reverse colors. So instead, let's pretend that ALIREZA would be white and he played the London system. So this is all typical of the London system. And here we go. As you can see, ALIREZA is playing a London system because a London system with a knight on b5 like that, you attack again this pawn. And as we can see, c6 cannot be played because then you would take on d6. And now, what is the plan for black against the London system? You typically get knight e4 followed by f5. And that's exactly what Magnus is doing now with reverse colors. So we here, and now he play knight e5. And here he play f4, and you can think of ALIREZA as playing a London system with one less tempo with black. It's a check, and he finishes development. So here, the problem is like that pawn here is pretty weak, and to defend it, Magnus plays rook e2. So it's a very slow game, no pieces, no pawn has been exchanged so far. So very strategic position, and I'm gonna just continue the game. And here, commentators were surprised. White to play, and Magnus unleashes f5. Now this is incredible, and it turns out that black cannot take on f5. The reason is you play c3, the knight moves, capture the knight, and you win a piece on e7. So f5, it's a great move because after a few exchanges, the rook on e2 target the unprotected bishop on e7. Great stuff. Now, ALIREZA is a blitz game, took more than 40 seconds and played rook fe8. So clearly didn't fall into that, and he protects the bishop on e7. As the game continues, and here with the rook on e6, white is much better. And here, very clever, c4. Why c4? Because black was threatening to take on d3. So the game goes on, and ALIREZA is close to being defeated here. And I stop right there. In this position, why to play? What did Magnus find? And he played the incredible queen sack. This is fourth, and now bishop d5, threatening to win another piece. And if you try to put the knight over here, I simply take the knight. This knight is protected. White is completely winning. So here, ALIREZA is on the brink of defeat. And what is the material? White has a rook and two bishops against the queen. But this was the critical moment, and here there is one move to win, to clearly win on the spot. But instead, Magnus plays 92. So that based on the miscalculation. The winning move was knight f3 because that covers the e1 square. And if you were to come on e2, I give a check. And here, brilliant bishop e5. The knight defends the bishop, and I have a discovery and checkmate. So instead, knight f3 was winning, and on knight e8, you can simply regroup, let's say, any black takes, you simply take, and you have a winning position for white. So here, knight f3, brilliant move, covering e1, but instead, knight e2 played. And that's a mistake. Why is that? Because black would have taken here, check, and now you have a discovery. But the problem is black is attacking the bishop. So if you give a discovery, I simply take the bishop. And there's no checkmate over here. And obviously, if you play a move like that, I could simply give a check here, and I'm alive with the black pieces. So 92 was a mistake. Here, ALIREZA played 98, and the game continued. It was a crazy game, and at the end, it ended up in a draw because white had two bishops, black had the queen, but there's no way you can win with black because the two bishop protects, and you're threatening a7, a8, checkmate, the bishop on c6 defense against promoting, and ALIREZA giving checks, and again, that ended up in a draw, a fighting battle and draw. But the key point here is number one, the queen sack was absolutely correct, but in here, there was one retreat, knight f3 wins, knight a2 only draws. And this was the position which Magnus was unable to solve. And I see you in the next one.